Okay, so today's topic is what you should eat before, during, and after your workout. So if this interests you and you want to have the best possible workouts and recovery, then stay tuned. Now, before we get into the video, if you find any value out of this, please make sure to subscribe for more awesome content just like this, and give this video a like because it helps a lot with the algorithm. Just gets more reach to more people, and it's 100% free. So today's topic is what you should be eating before, during, and after you train. Now, it's a question I get a lot. That's why I'm making this video. So what should you do? Should you do high carbs before training or training fasted? Should you eat all of them right after you work out? So I'm going to give you the approach that I use myself and what I use with most people. Of course, we're all a little different, so take this with a pinch of salt. There's different nuances. So I'm going to give you some alternative approaches as well. But the number one approach I use is a pre-workout meal, usually between 30 to 60 minutes, and sometimes maybe 90, again, depending on your schedule, preferences, etc. But you would eat this before you work out, and no, it's not going to be a big meal. So a lot of people like to have a really massive meal, and that worries me. It's kind of redundant because there's just a lot of digestion taking place, right? You're going to be training, and you don't want all your blood to be in your digestive system. You want it to go to your muscles so you can get good pumps. So number one, the meal is pretty small. Now, in terms of the timing, you want to shoot for fast active foods, or the easiest it is to digest, the closer you can, like for your workouts. So in other words, you may not want to have a steak 30 minutes before your workout because you're going to feel more bloated or bogged down. You might want to have one if you're eating 90 minutes before. You probably get away with a steak. So that's depending on like the type of food that's going to play. But again, no more than like 90 minutes. But if you're eating 30 minutes before, you want a quicker digesting carbohydrate. We'll get into that a little bit later. Or actually, I'll probably have another video breaking down like better options or better sources. But anyways, how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fat. So for the protein, believe it or not, I don't really go that heavy with it. It's just a matter in the context, like, again, this is a smaller meal. I might have a male eat around 30 grams of protein. I might have a female eat around 20 grams. And again, there's a little bit of variance depending on their size, their caloric needs, also the preferences of when they're working out, and their schedule, right? Especially like work, but it's never a big amount. So a moderate amount. And the same thing is also going to apply for carbohydrates. Now, a lot of people, for whatever reason, they think they need to have 100 grams of carbs or 700 cups of rice before they train. And that's insanely high. Even if you're using something like a GDA, like a glucose disposal agent, to get that pumping in the bloodstream, you kind of want to use that post-workout, but that's a story for another day. You don't need that much. My goal personally with the carbs is to give you an energy source, but it's more to like kind of raise your insulin levels, right? So the insulin response is very important, in my opinion, to help you with that muscle protein breakdown. When you lessen it, that increases your chance of being anabolic. So carbs like around 30 or 50 grams for a guy or 20 to 30 grams for a female is kind of my standard. Now, fat. People are scared to death for whatever reason to have fat with carbs, and they think well, carbs are going to stimulate insulin, and then if I have fat in my blood, it's all going to get driven into my fat cells. Well, people just worry way too much about combining carbs and fat, and it should just be a reasonable amount. Like, it doesn't have to be 100 grams of carbs and 50 grams of fat. Obviously, that's insane. You wouldn't even do that for a post-workout meal. It would just be like a reasonable amount. Like, so in the big picture, so fat, like, do I put any of there or not? Like, personally, I do. And I recommend some or most of you do as well, but like 10 grams. And so that would be like, if it's me, right, I don't like peanut butter, but it could be a nut butter, or I like Biscoff, or depending again on what you're eating, could be an oil, depends on, like, again, nuances, whether you're eating pre-workout, post-workout, your preferences, your schedule. If you're eating like a lean source, so like chicken breast or like whitefish, shrimp, cod, etc., great options would be like avocado, or let's say you just you're on the go. Again, it depends on your schedule. If you're drinking a protein shake, I would say probably a good idea to add either MCT oil, because that's liquid, it's easier, or you can blend stuff up and do some peanut butter, nut butter, etc. And then, so about 10 grams, so like 1 teaspoon. And then for females, about half that, so 5-6 grams. And that's really not a lot of avocado or oil. Like, we're talking about 5 grams. So it's a really good idea to measure this and use a scale. Now, there's another reason why I do that. So the insulin release that you get, you want it to be slow and steady, and fat slows down how quickly your glucose will then get into your bloodstream. So glucose just rushes into your bloodstream if you've eaten a lot of carbs and no fat. Your pancreas is going to dump a bunch of insulin, and that makes your blood sugar, it'll go up, and then your pancreas will dump a bunch of blood sugar, and it will come crashing down. So then we're going to get into the intra-workout, all right? So that's why it's important to have some fat with your pre-workout meal, not zero and not a shit ton, okay? So you don't want to be digesting anything during your workout. That is my opinion. It will be backed up by a lot of people. The only caveat to that is some people, more specifically like power lifters, they'll eat like gummy bears or like Swedish berries or something like that. Now, it's not a terrible idea, but for a lot of people, including myself, it'll give you digestive issues. And that's another reason why you don't want to be eating something during your workout. It comes down to digestion. It's not a good plan. You also don't want to be someone that's going to open up like chicken rice and broccoli in between your bench press sets. Like, A, it's going to taste like shit because it's going to be cold. And B, again, you're going to spend time during your workout eating and you're not going to be able to digest it. But this is what I would recommend, right? So kind of 2.5 things, which are EAAs, essential amino acids. And the carbohydrate that I recommend and prefer is called cluster dextrin. Okay. Now, there are a bunch of different brands and companies. I'm in Canada. But the one that I know is pretty worldwide is called Carbolinks. That's the one I always recommend. So let me pull that up. Now I have it, or I have the availability or ability to buy this on Amazon, even if I'm in Canada. It's an American company, so this should cover pretty much everybody in North America. They have different flavors. I love fruit punch. Most of you watching this, I would not recommend a full scoop. I would do half a scoop because one full scoop is 200 grams and 50 grams of carbs. You don't need that. 25 is fine. For some of my clients that are watching this, like I just recommend it so for simplicity and cost wise, just like literally do half a Gatorade. It's easier. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then why is it not showing that it has dextrin in it? Where's their ingredients? Here, right? Okay, so I know I can show it. It's over there. On the bottle, it says it has cluster dextrin, but it's not the end of the world. So now what it does is basically liquid carbs. So they're going to provide you no digestive stress at all. It's going to hit your stomach and boom, it's going to hit your bloodstream very, very fast. Like you'll feel it, especially if like you're fasted. It's like you're having a sugar rush. And the product that I recommend, this is the product I recommend for most because it's a recovery factor, and that's the EAAs. Right. So there's a bunch of brands, but do not buy BCAAs. There's a massive difference. I'm thinking of making a video. If you want to see a video, drop it down below in the comments, but a lot of you will probably be bored with the topic. What's the difference? Basically, BCAAs have 3 out of the 9 essential amino acids. EAAs have all of them, right? The other thing about the Carbolinks is it has some electrolytes in it, but so do the EAAs. Again, it depends on the brand. But then what I would recommend, and which is what I do, is to add a little bit of salt. It can be Himalayan salt. It could just be regular salt, but then that helps with pump performance, less cramping, recovery, etc. Right? So the other types of carbs would be like dextrin or cluster dextrin. Those are okay. Some people have digestive issues and also has issues with spiking your insulin, like I can't say the word, maltodextrin. There we go. But maltodextrin is like a nice steady stream of insulin. It's like you're on an IV drip. Right. So you're going to be able to recover faster. And then you're also going to be able to absorb it quickly. And you'll get better pumps. But here's something that, you're going to get better pumps and you're not going to gas out after 45 or 50 minutes. Your energy levels will be maintained. So a lot of people have asked me, right, what if I ate a good pre-meal or pre-workout meal, and why would I need an intra? Right. What I found through the years is no matter how much food I had beforehand, the recovery piece and the workouts was always limited. Right. It wasn't until my coach actually recommended that I added these in. So like the EAAs, and I would do like a half scoop, some pink salt around like 2 or 3 grams, and then the cluster dextrin around 25 grams. I would never, ever, even for me, like I don't need a full scoop. I don't need 50 grams of carbs. You don't need 50 grams of carbs. And then I saw that my muscles were getting bigger and I saw the improvement in the recovery. So the one thing that I wanted to say regarding intra-workout is I know majority of my audience is like having a lot of weight loss to lose. You don't need an intra-workout. You don't need an intra-workout, especially if you're going to be strength training less than like 50 or 45 minutes. So when someone asks me how long is my workout, I tell them it's like an hour and a half. But like a good chunk of that, like the first 10 minutes is pretty much just warming up and mobilizing and getting blood pumping. And the last 5 minutes is stretching. But there's about an hour and 10 minutes that I'm working out. So about 40 minutes into the workout, I have the intra. And without the intra, I'm able to finish, but not with a lot of energy. And like whatever I finish, like whatever's on my end of the workout, it's like it doesn't go well. But if you're strength training for 45 minutes, you do not need an intra workout. unless you're doing it fasted and you're feeling lightheaded. There's again variables, but message me if you have any questions. All right. So now, post-training nutrition. So what do you do? The popular thing is to drink a protein shake and drink like a really fast-acting source of carbohydrates to replenish the glycogen, right? Now, the 20-second, or I put the 20-second anabolic window as a myth. It's nonsense. It technically isn't. Most of the studies saying it's a nonsense, but like there's a thing or a myth that like, oh, I just finished a workout, I have to hit my protein shake. That's not necessarily true. It's only true in certain nuances, which we'll get to at the end of the video, where if like you're working out fasted. Now, what I basically broke down to you, you've already done that. You know, as you were training, you put aminos into your bodies, you've already put carbs into your bodies, and you've already started the process, the recovery process. So if you want to have a protein shake when you're done, by all means do it. But I don't think it's as critical as most people think. And if you're going to do it, it does not need to include carbs or fat. And you also want to shoot for an isolate for quicker absorption versus whey. And do not use casein if you're having protein post-workout. Unless like this is like you're working out really late at night. That's a whole other story. But to simplify for most of you, nobody's working out super late at night. Do the isolate. Now, in the example that I use and that I tell clients to use is after their workout, just like go home and relax and have a good balanced meal. It might be, you know, like flank steak with some rice and potatoes. It might be a protein shake with oatmeals. It might be chicken and rice or chicken and potato or chicken and sweet potato, whatever. A lot of variables and factors. Some clients like cereal. I like cereal even myself. So sometimes we'll do protein shakes and cereal. But the point is, you don't really need to do or to be in this big, massive rush if you use this approach. Now, hold on, water break. Not everybody in this situation allows them to do this, right? So that's what I keep saying. There's a lot of variables to these factors. Some people have to get up really, really early in the morning. And I've been there, right? And maybe you're just like not motivated to make a meal. If you wake up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and then, you know, eat something, I get it, right? You don't want to get up 30 minutes before so you can go eat before the gym. So there's another cool thing that you could do, and that's to make sure the night before your dinner is pretty big and ideally eat like a little later. So if you're waking up at 6 a.m, eat at like 9 p.m., right? And you're providing a lot of proteins, a lot of carbs, and a lot of fat in your dinner. And so as you're sleeping, you're not really like burning it off. Like in layman terms, it'll be available when you train in the morning. So you can just essentially not eat breakfast or meal one, right? I would still prep the intra, especially if you're training fasted. And I would consume that as you train. And then, you know, as the post-workout meal, it's still, in my opinion, not as critical with the timing because you've had that with the intra, but you'll probably be a lot more nauseous or lightheaded and you'll need to eat a lot quicker. Now, what about, for instance, like people who just sometimes don't want to handle liquid well, or they can't handle liquid well? Well, when they train and they don't want any food in their body, like they want to train completely, totally fasted. If you're one of these people, then the post-workout meal makes a whole different level of significance. Now, I believe when you hit that last set, you should hit a protein shake, or like you want some quick, rapid acting carbohydrates. You want to pay attention to the timing. So protein shake with some oats or, well, actually that'd probably be the easiest option. Just like blender, oats, protein powder, and like water. But you know, a lot of people like to laugh and say like the anabolic window isn't that important. But it actually is if you're training fasted, 100%. You need to replenish your nutrients very quickly. Your protein synthesis will be elevated for like, I don't know, 24, 48 hours if you don't. Now, believe me, you can just like do this yourself. You can train really hard and then like not eat for 6 hours and then train really hard and then use an intra-workout or not even touch a post-workout meal. But you'll play around with it and play around with the nutrients and you will see a giant difference in the way you feel, the difference in your recovery, and you'll feel the difference 100%. So if you're one of those people that has to train fasted, just make sure that you do knock down a protein shake or some rapid acting fast carbs if you're not fasted, or follow the other two approaches that we broke down. Like, believe it or not, there are very good approaches to what you do before you train. And so that is what hopefully like basically this video broke down. And if you like this video, you got something out of it, please drop a comment below and share if you liked it. Now, look, okay, here's the part of the video where I basically talk to you puff to puff, or person to puff to person. I know we covered a lot of information, and for most of you watching this, it could be incredibly overwhelming and frustrating because you don't even know where to start or what to do. You probably don't know what to do or how to do it or how to eat properly or how to work out properly, or you would like to understand more about nutrition, right? Which is great step number one, watching this video. I get it. I was in your shoes. If you didn't know, I lost under 50 pounds. I had no idea and struggled massively with not knowing anything for this for like a decade, right? And then I lost all the weight. I know how frustrating it could be because of how much BS there is on the internet, and like your head is spinning because you don't know who to listen to or who to follow or what to do. Chances are you're probably like tried everything under the sun, every diet. You tried keto, you tried OMAD, you're probably jabbing your butt with those epic needles. But maybe like your diet and your workouts or all the supplements that you're taking isn't working. Now, if that's you, what I would encourage you to do would be to book a 100% free game plan chat, and we'll cover and make you a game plan on how you can actually lose weight with ease while eating all your favorite foods and simplify the heck out of this process. It'll be the first link in the process in the description below. But if that's not something you're open to right now, or maybe like you're just not ready for that, that's totally cool. The second link in the description is going to be a 100% free weight loss course. And it has a bunch of videos just like this, plus more and more and more, designed to help you on your weight loss goals. And it also has a bunch of people probably similar to you in your exact same position between 20 and 50 that are trying to lose weight. It's there as like a community aspect to uplift each other, trying to do the same thing. So again, thanks for watching this video. If you've actually watched all 15 minutes and 50 seconds with this, please drop a comment below and tell me what you found most useful or some other ideas that you want to see in the next video. And again, thanks for watching. Drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video.